Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of ZTV. I'm Alexandria Messia, and I'll be your host for tonight. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, and tonight we're going to be meeting some more of Alexandria's animals that are currently at the AWLA, and I'm joined by Gina, the marketing director. Hi, Gina. How are you?
Hi, Alexandra. Doing great. Thanks so much for having us again. We're always excited to talk about some of our amazing adoptables.
Yes, and I love talking about them, so we might as well jump right into it. We have some very special pets tonight to showcase. So first, we're going to be meeting Brewster. Do you want to give a little bit, tell us a little bit about him before we jump right into the video?
Absolutely. Brewster is just lovely. He is the sweetest boy. He came to us a couple weeks ago, and pretty quickly we realized he just had the most amazing personality. And I feel like you really have to see it to believe it. So let's go ahead and take a look at Brewster.
So this handsome boy, like you said, is Brewster, and he is just so much fun. He is just a big bundle of love. I like describing him as a meatball, but like a meatball with attitude, because you can see he's just go, and he's so excited to be here. He's so excited to hang out with people and try new things and smell new things, and we just love him, and we are looking for a wonderful home for him.
How old is he?
So Brewster's about 8 years old.
Okay, and what breed of dog is he?
He's probably some kind of pit bull mix.
Okay, and I can tell he's very energetic. What type of home would he be looking for?
So Brewster's looking for a really special family, because when he came to us, we noticed, and you might see it a little bit, he has a little bit of a jowl there, but he also has a mass on his neck. And our veterinary team had the opportunity to do a cytological check. They weren't able to biopsy it because of the location, but they were able to see that it is a thyroid tumor. And we know that thyroid tumors of that type in that location generally tend to be malignant. So Brewster, you can see, is not bothered at all. Nothing's slowing him down. He's there saying hi to everybody. But we know that he's looking for an extra special family, because we're not exactly sure what the next steps for him are, and that's something that his new family would be working with him on. We would highly recommend that they see a veterinary oncologist to see a little bit more, to see if it is operable in some way, and just what the next steps for him might be. So obviously for Brewster, the next steps are just smelling and sniffing and having so much fun. He's really excited right now, but if he settles down a little bit, you'll also see he is just the cuddliest guy. Hi. And we say, there we go, see? He just needs somebody down on his level, but he is just the sweetest. I love, this is his favorite thing. Yep, bottom rubs. We love bottom rubs, and they make us so happy.
I can tell he's kind of running around. What type of space do you think he would need?
So I think he would like a little bit more space. I was just trying to figure out what to say about Brewster, and I think he's the kind of guy who could be a good low energy exercise buddy, but he's also the kind of guy that the mornings when you wake up and you're just like, oh no, I'm not ready for a walk today, he'd be like, cool, let's stay in. So,
okay, great. And does he have any toys that he likes here at the shelter, anything he loves to do?
So at 8 years old, he's a little over toys. He always likes to kind of like sniff them, check them out, maybe see if they have a squeak, but they're not really his thing. He is much more interested in treats. Brewster, do you like a good treat? Do you like a good treat? There we go, yeah. And so he is just looking for the opportunity to live his best life with a wonderful family. He would be happy with adults, he would be happy with kids. We think you can just see he's the happiest, smiliest guy, and he deserves just a loving, wonderful family, and so that's what we're looking for.
Awesome. He looks so like such a great energy. Thank you.
He's such a good meatball, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we will say to anybody, you know, we know he may not be the right type of dog for everyone, but he does deserve a loving family, and just share his story. Let anybody you know, let them know about Brewster, because we just want to get him in a great home with a great family. Oh, there you go. There you go. I know, such a happy boy. Such a happy boy.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Of course.
You know, even just watching that video of Brewster, I was smiling because he's just running around. He was so happy and energetic.
He is so much fun. He's got so much personality. And after we met yesterday, when we had a chance to meet with him, he realized that maybe he didn't show himself off to his best. He didn't get everybody a chance to see his great smiles and his really good manners. So he actually wrote a really nice little description of himself to tell everybody about him for the zebra. So I've dropped the link in the comments right now, and you should definitely take a look, because I feel like hearing Brewster, you know, you get it straight from the horse's mouth, or in this situation, the dog's mouth, and he is just such a sweet happy guy. And I will echo the sentiments that I said yesterday. You know, Brewster may not be the right fit for everybody, but we know there is an amazing home for him out there. And we really hope everybody who's watching this, everybody who looks at it, whether it's right now or whether they view it afterwards, will share Brewster's story, because we know he is such a good guy and he deserves an amazing home. And the more people who talk him up and the more people who share how wonderful he is, the better chance we have of helping him find that home so he can spend his amazing days with an equally amazing family.
Of course. And we also have that article from Brewster posted on our Facebook page. So if you go check out our Facebook, you can find the article there as well to learn more about him. And I know you did mention this in the video. He has kind of a very specific health need, but you guys at the AWLA, you do have programs available, right, to help adoptive parents to kind of situate them with the dog, especially like Brewster, who may have a specific medical need.
We do, yes. And Brewster's situation is definitely a very specific one. Unfortunately, we aren't able to perform a biopsy to get the best results just because of the location of his tumor. A cytological survey did show us that it is a thyroid tumor, but there is potential that if doctors are interested in seeing a veterinary oncologist, they could learn a little bit more. There's the possibility of resection for that tumor, which could lead him to many more happy years. It's not something that unfortunately we are able to determine, but we would be happy to talk to potential adopters. Our veterinary team can tell them everything that we've learned so far and provide guidance, because again, our goal is just to help him find a wonderful home, because we know he deserves it and he's going to have so much fun, and his family is going to have so much fun with him. Even in the video, like you said, Alexandria, he was just running and sniffing and exploring. He's got like a childlike energy, and I just love it. And the people who are eventually his family are going to love it too. I just know.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, I was like falling in love with him as he was in the room, and I don't say that too often. So it was really cute to see. And you had said that he would pretty much do well with any type of family, correct? Like, what home do you think would be best for him?
We think so. We don't necessarily know who he's lived with before in terms of living with kids, in terms of living with other pets, be it cats or dogs. So we can't give that information for sure, but he's met other dogs at our facility at the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria, and he's been comfortable with them. He's just such a happy-go-lucky boy. I think he would love potentially a family that's got some kids. I could see him doing well in a younger family. I just feel like he's just such a good-natured boy. I think he's going to make the most of whatever home situation he has, and he's going to be so happy to be in that home situation. I see him trying every single piece of furniture you have as a bed. I see him snuggling up on movie nights. You definitely need to be ready for those big brown puppy dog eyes when you have some maybe yummy treats. So, you know, with Brewster, you're going to have some challenges, especially not loving him too much, but I think they're challenges worth having.
Yeah, no, and definitely worth it for Brewster, especially he's just such a good dog that it would definitely be worth it. So for everyone watching, make sure to check out the article online as well if you want to learn more about him. And then we've also put a link to their website.
Yeah, and one thing that we say in there is, because we are trying to help Brewster connect with his family as soon as possible, he actually set up an email address. Again, dogs, so smart. It's adoptabrewster@alexandriaanimals.org. So that's in the article, and I'll put that in the comments as well. But you can email us. You can call us during our business hours at 703-746-4774 to schedule some time to meet him or ask any questions about him. We just want to help him find those people. So contact us, because we are excited to have the opportunity to get you the chance to meet Brewster.
Awesome. And I'm really hoping he finds a good home. So now we'll go on to our next pet, which is a cat named Tishka.
Yes, Tishka is so gorgeous, and Tishka definitely shows off his gorgeousness in the video. So again, I feel like I can't even delay. Let's just meet Tishka.
Okay, so who are we meeting next?
So this handsome gentleman is Tishka, and when I say handsome, I am not over-exaggerating, because he is just gorgeous, from his like greenish yellowish eyes to his gray coat that has really beautiful buff stripes. And just watch how he moves. He's just so sleek and slinky. He is just a handsome guy, and he's just as sweet to match.
How old is he?
Tishka is about 4 years old, so he is in the prime of his life, and he is really enjoying his time here. He has this nice big space because he is a little bit bigger of a cat, but also he's really active. So he loves to jump. He loves to climb. He especially loves these windows right here because he can see all the action that's going on. And so I feel like in home, he is going to be sitting on your windows, sitting on your windowsills, and just bird watching and seeing everything that's going by.
What type of home or space do you think he would work best in?
So definitely, like I said, if he had access to windows, I think he would be a happy kitty. He would love to have a little bit more space to roam. Right now we're seeing that he does really well with the verticals. He does love climbing. Most cats, and certainly Tishka included, like to have some kind of hidey space as well. So he has this, but you'll see that if you put the blanket down, he has a little space just to kind of be quiet, private, on his own. But at the same time, we came in here and he came right out to say hi to us. So he's certainly not a cat who's going to be spending a lot of his life, I think, away from his people. He wants to be right there where you are and where the action is.
So do you know if he's good with children?
We don't know if Tishka's lived with kids before. I think he just seems like such a friendly and amiable boy that I think he would get along well with anybody who kind of respects his space and respects his boundaries and makes sure they're treating him right, which is what we would want of any pet owner. He plays with his toys a little bit, but I think he's kind of got that cool cat mentality where he likes, I mean, that was such a great leap. He just, he's just up for anything. He's just such a great boy.
Yeah, and does he do well with other cats, do you know?
So again, we don't know if he's lived with other cats. I could see him wanting to be the cat who rules your roost, but we don't know that for sure. And our staff is always really good about talking to people who have pets at home and are looking to adopt other pets to talk about ways that they can introduce each other. So generally, if you have a cat and you're bringing a new cat into the household, we recommend that you keep them separated for about a week and they kind of have supervised time. It's one of my favorite things to see is when people are separating their cats, and sometimes you'll see videos of the cat sticking their paw through the door in between, and they're like, I know someone's in there, I want to be friends with them. And so I think that's like a great kind of lead up, because then it's really exciting when you get to meet your new kitty friend.
Yeah, of course. And he looks like he just loves to roam around and climb on top of everything.
He is definitely a little explorer, and yet at the same time, when people aren't here, when he doesn't have an audience, I think he's just as happy to be laying into bed. But right now you can see he's happy because he's doing what we call making biscuits. So he's kneading at materials, things like beds and blanket, and that is generally a cat's way of A, saying they're very comfortable and happy to be there, and B, kind of making a little bit of a nest. But whenever a cat makes biscuits, it always just makes me so happy, and I think he's really enjoying himself right now.
Yeah, and what is your website? Where can people go to find you guys to adopt animals?
Yes, so right now we are doing adoptions by appointment. Brewster has a little special process, which we talked about. But for everybody else, if they visit our website at alexandriaanimals.org/adopt by appointment, they can find out how to schedule time to meet with any of the animals in our shelter. And for the animals in foster care, we can also set up appointments for them as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
It's like perfect timing, because
he's
decided,
so
he's like,
cute.
I was so good, and now I'm going to sleep. Thanks, people.
That was really adorable watching him go from jumping up onto the window to just cuddling in his bed.
Yeah, I think Brewster he didn't quite understand what to do with the camera, but Tishka was absolutely camera ready. Tishka knew exactly where the camera was and how to get his best angles and to show off all his most adorable features. And he has a lot of adorable features.
And you mentioned this a little bit in the video, but what family do you think would be best for Tishka?
So Tishka's another one. We don't necessarily know much about who he's lived with, but he does feel like a very calm, also like Brewster, a very happy-go-lucky kind of kitty. So I could see him being successful with a lot of different types of families. I think he'd love somewhere where he can do a little bird watching in the windows. So more windows, more birds. I think Tishka would be happy there. But I think a family who gets to know him, who kind of respects his space, but also is looking for somebody who definitely is going to want to cuddle with you sometimes, that's Tishka's perfect family right there.
Yeah, and you could just tell he loves climbing up and down. He would do well in any type of space, or might want a little bit more space.
I think one thing that we don't consider a lot when we're considering cats is even if you don't have a lot of floor space, if you have a lot of that climbing space like you described, it doesn't have to have a big floor plan, but think about climbing areas, whether it's something that you put in like a climbing and scratching post, whether it's windows, whether it's furniture. There's a lot of options as long as you're comfortable with cats climbing in your house. And I think Tishka is that born explorer, and he's going to find a way to check out all the different angles of your home. So be ready for that. And I think it'll be a lot of fun for everyone.
Yeah. And is there anything else you think an adoptive parent looking to adopt Tishka should know about him?
I think they just need to be ready for Tishka's personality, and it's a big personality, and you see part of it there, but he didn't even really know us that well. He had 3 people in with him, and he was very casual about it. So I think Tishka's going to be even more of a cuddler. He's going to be even more seeking your affection when you are his person and he is in his home.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. And so now we'll get into our final animals. There, you guys had a lot of rabbits, and while we've met a lot of dogs and cats over the past few months, you guys do have rabbits as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, we have currently 5 rabbits available for adoption, and we have several others in foster who are not quite old enough. They're getting ready for adoption. And so we thought it would be fun to try something a little bit new. We did a rabbit rotation. So we met all 5 of our rabbits. Rabbits can be a lot of fun, much like any other animal. They are each individual. So while there's certain things that you want to know about rabbits as a pet in general, and we talk about that in our video in just a minute, every one of these rabbits is a little bit different, and they have their own personalities, and they're great fun to get to know, and they're just a wonderful pet for so many different types of families. So hopefully some folks see some wonderful rabbits and are interested in reaching out to us about adoption. So let's check out our bunnies.
So who's the next animal we're meeting today?
So a lot of people come to us looking for dogs and cats, and we met some dogs and cats. We met Brewster and Tishka, but the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria is an open access shelter, and what that means is we will take any animals who come to us from within the jurisdiction. So while people don't necessarily think of us for some of our smaller animals, we sometimes have animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, lizards and snakes. We have all kinds of animals, so we always recommend if you're looking for anything, check with us first because we may have the perfect pet for you. And in terms of rabbits, we have quite a few rabbits right now. So we figured we would kind of do a rabbit rotation and meet some of our 5 adoptable rabbits. And these are 5 who are adoptable right now. We have even more in foster care. So if anybody has ever been looking to learn more about rabbits and make a rabbit a member of their family, now is the perfect time because we have some wonderful and adorable ones. So right here, we have Theodore, and we actually have Simon and Theodore came to us. They're brothers, so they're very similar looking. So we'll meet Theodore first.
Okay.
These are both Himalayan rabbits. So they have these lovely white coats, but they have some black spots. And then both of our Himalayans have kind of red pinkish eyes. And you can see Theodore and Simon, I think, are very social. The fact that right now he's sitting on top of his enclosure as opposed to necessarily looking for a space that he wants to hide or escape, he wants to know what we're doing. He's totally like, hi, friends, are you here to take me home? And then both he and his brother, so we've got Simon over here. They are not a bonded pair. They are siblings, I believe. Like I said, they're both the same age and they look pretty similar, but they're not necessarily looking for a home together. But they are both 4 years old. They are both male. And just like his brother, Theodore, I think Simon is just as bold. And I do love it when these rabbits climb on top of, whatever it is they have, whether it's a kennel, whether it's a castle, and they just kind of lounge. Like he looks like he's at the beach laying in the sun, and look how chill and calm he is right now.
So for those who don't know, what are rabbits' energy levels usually like?
So much like any of our other animals, it can really vary. So we've had some rabbits who are kind of stay-at-home rabbits. They love to be in their safe space and they kind of mostly hang out there. They're not necessarily doing hopping around, but then we have some action bunnies and they love jumping, they love playing. One thing that owners can consider is the idea of having a house rabbit. Obviously that's something that you want to do some research on and make sure it's right for both you and your rabbit, but the idea that a rabbit can be free roaming, albeit supervised for a portion of the day in a safe area. So right now we try and give our rabbits a pretty big space with these open enclosures made of X pens. We make sure that they all have the things that they need, so a nice safe place to hide. We've got some enrichment here in terms of we've got like the tunnels that we had for both of them. If you can hear it a little bit, our bunny next door who we'll meet next is chewing up some paper, which is really fun for them. They love to chew. And then all of our rabbits have a litter box that has hay in it. Hay is a big portion of our diet, so this is Timothy hay that we have here. And then their litter box. Rabbits actually, unlike cats, spend a lot of time in their litter box. It's not just for using the bathroom. It's kind of a social area, and it makes them feel comfortable. And again, that's actually why the hay is in there. They have yummy treats throughout the day of things like veggies and fruits, and then we always have plenty of water for them.
So is this the type of space, basically size, that they would need to have it when adopted? We
would say that most of our rabbits would want at least this much space. We want to make sure that they have the room to get around, that they feel like they're not enclosed or sitting right on top of their litter box, because even though it can be a social space, they still want to be able to have time away from it. And then, like I said, there is the idea that you could have more of a free roaming rabbit. It should always be supervised, but we know some people who have, bunny movie nights and they just sit on the couch and the rabbits sit with them. So some people have really social, cuddly rabbits who are really with them a good portion of the time. And some of them have rabbits who like their own space a little bit more.
And you said they're both 4 years old. For those who don't know, is that young for a rabbit, old for a rabbit? What's their age span?
A little bit before middle age for a rabbit, I would say. For rabbits who've been cared for well, they can live 10 years is not a crazy period of time. So we always say that just like any animal, it's good for rabbits to see a vet at least once a year. You would need to find a right kind of vet. It's generally an exotics vet, just so that they know a little bit more about rabbits. But with good eating, good health, good exercise, you could have plenty more years with these bunnies.
And do you guys have any programs available for people who are looking to adopt a rabbit for the first time and may want some help?
We definitely have a lot of information that we provide to adopters, especially, as you mentioned, if it's their first time owning a rabbit or any other kind of pet. So letting them know the supplies they need, the space they're looking for, what they eat, and we also provide a list of local veterinarians who specifically work with exotics so that they can get that first appointment set up and get in right away. We always say that it's good to meet with a vet early because that way a vet sees your pet kind of at their base level, so then if something later down the line seems a little bit weirder, they have something to work from.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And shall we meet a couple more of our bunnies? So we've got another one in here. This here is Acadia, and Acadia is a girl. She is, we have her defined as a short-haired rabbit, so she's a little bit more of your generic bunny, but that doesn't make her any less beautiful. She is white, and from this side you can see the pink on the back of her ears. Now, you asked about energy levels before, and whereas Simon and Theodore were kind of lounging, they were calm. We've got Acadia jumping all over the place.
Jumping
the whole
around,
time she was exploring, she was chewing things. That's something that rabbits love to do. Teeth are very central for them, and they love to keep them busy, so things like newspaper, like paper towel tubes. You don't want anything that's too tough and potentially not digestible, but we actually have brown kind of butcher block paper at the bottom here, and I've definitely seen some of the rabbits go for that too. So it just depends on what kind of activity they're looking for, but Acadia here is definitely, I think, one of our more active buns right now.
Okay, and what type of home do you think would be best for her?
So again, I think because she's social, because she's outgoing, she would be happy in a home where people are looking to maybe interact with her a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if she'd do better with more space. And rabbits are a little bit shyer as a breed, so it may be that at first it doesn't seem like she's wanting to roam. She doesn't know what to do with the space. Everything's a little foreign to her. But if you give her time and the chance to get comfortable, you may find that over time she's a little bit more of a bouncy bunny.
Yeah, and how old is she?
So we're not exactly sure how old she is, probably a couple years, but we don't have that specific level of information.
Okay, and what type of treats and things would you give rabbits to play with?
So in terms of like treats, in terms of food, leafy greens are something that they love. So lots of different kinds of lettuces and kales and things like that. The tops of things like radishes and carrots are also good.
Okay.
We give them fruit as well. Fruit is kind of what I call a candy bar for rabbits, so it is very sugary. So while they love slices of apple, we are giving them slices of apple and not necessarily a full apple.
Yeah.
And again, it's that Timothy hay. A lot of places will recommend that you use, it's called a rabbit pellet, and it's just kind of a specially formulated type of food. And so that'll be the key diet, and then those greens and veggies and fruits are kind of a bonus on top of that.
Okay, great. And do rabbits do well with children?
So again, just like any animal, they're all individuals. I think rabbits can do great with kids, and I think kids can really love a rabbit. We want to make sure that everybody kind of knows how to handle a rabbit, how to be around a rabbit, and of course make sure that that rabbit feels comfortable. And that rabbit may not feel comfortable right away just because everything's new, but over time they may feel comfortable with their new family. So I think rabbits can be a great pet for anyone.
Okay, great.
And then we have just a couple more that we can be, like I said, we have a lot of rabbits, so we have rabbits all over the place. So this is another striking rabbit. This is Bagpipes, and you can see, compared to some of our other rabbits, she is much bigger. And she is, again, we're just calling her a short-haired rabbit, but she is a quite bigger girl. She has this beautiful black coat, and she's pretty sociable too. You can see her nose going and her whiskers. She's kind of wondering what's going on with all of these people. She's cleaned on herself right now, so she's also pretty calm about it. But she is kind of a medium to low energy bunny, but she is fairly outgoing.
How old is she?
So much like Acadia, we're not sure exactly how old she is. We don't have that information, but probably looking at several years or so.
Okay, and what type of, do you think she would do well in a space like this since she's more low energy?
Again, yeah, I think she would, and it doesn't mean that if she had more of a fun space to play in. And, you know, we showed you some of the things that rabbits have, but there are so many other entertainment options that you can give them. Some things like toys that are that they can chew on. There's like rope toys that are in balls. And Bagpipes is like, she's ready for us to be done talking about her. But there's so many other things that, so even if they're staying in a smaller space, there's things that you can give them for enrichment, so they're having as much fun wherever they are.
Okay, great. And our final rabbit?
Yeah, so our last rabbit here is Brittany. And Brittany is another real cute one. She is an English spot rabbit. You can see where that name comes from.
Yeah.
She looks like a little Dalmatian of a rabbit. And this is, this pose here is rabbits at their most casual. This means they are comfortable, they are feeling good, they have that nice little sploot on their backside. She's not really worried about anything that's going on right now, and she is just cash. And she's like, you know, you met all the other rabbits, here I am, of course you're gonna wanna meet me, and everyone's gonna wanna adopt me, and she is just the calmest. I believe Brittany is about 2 years old.
Okay. And she's more low energy?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now what we're seeing rather than low energy is more calm.
Okay.
But I do think compared to like Acadia, she's probably a little lower energy. And we always say that the shelter is not necessarily a normal environment for animals. So some of the things that we may see here with them may not be the behaviors they exhibit when they go home. So just because we're seeing our calm Brittany bunny here doesn't mean that when she gets into a home and finds all the cool stuff that's there and she wants to explore, doesn't mean that she won't be hopping around all the time trying to really learn everything she can about her new home and her new people.
Yeah, and would any of these rabbits do well with other rabbits for people who already have some, or better by themselves?
So I believe of all of them, Simon and Theodore have lived together before. Like I said, they're siblings. They're not necessarily bonded, but they're, you definitely can introduce rabbits if they seem open to it. We have information on how to do that, and even on how to bond rabbits. And again, that's the idea that they're going to become best friends for life and want to live together. So just like any other animal, you know, they're individuals. They're going to figure out if they like another rabbit, if they want to be besties with another rabbit, but we can provide some guidance on that. And there's a lot of good information on the internet as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
It was so interesting to me how different every rabbit looked from each other, even though there were so many.
Yes, I think a lot of people don't necessarily think a lot about rabbits as pets, but then when you see so many of them in comparison to each other, and you realize that just like any other animal, and I will say this so much, but they are all individuals. They all have their own personalities. And I think when you saw, you know, Simon versus Theodore versus Acadia versus Bagpipes versus Brittany, they're all a little different, and each of them might be looking for a little slightly different home, but they're all going to be wonderful pets.
Of course. And for people who have never owned a rabbit before, what advice would you have for them?
I think there's just so much good information out there, and it's just really make sure you're constantly looking for more information. We're going to provide you as much information as we can about that pet, about bringing your first bunny home, about the space that they're looking for, about the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to learn so much more from them as they make themselves comfortable and they find their way around your home. But I think we've also found, you know, there are people who adopt from us who have had rabbits their entire lives, and there are people who've adopted from us who adopt their first rabbits, and everybody just ends up loving their rabbits so much. And I think it's a great learning experience as a pet, and they're just so wonderful and so loving. And if you're interested in rabbits, we definitely have the right rabbit for you.
Yes, and they really do seem like such a great pet to have.
Yeah, and our bunnies right now, they all were very happy. Even Bagpipes, who went in her kennel for a little bit, they're all pretty bold. They're all pretty comfortable rabbits. So I think they're ones who are going to have a lot of fun in a new household.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. It was great meeting all of the animals this month. And before I sign off with you, I know we have on Thursday with CTV Live, it's going to be Alexandria's Maker Market with Passionately Pets. Gina, you had mentioned you want to say a little bit about this.
Yeah, we're so excited for Passionately Pets to be on. We actually just announced today, and you guys have shared that information as well on your website and social media, that Alexandria Love Your Pet Day, the fourth event, is going to be happening on October 3rd. So we're very excited to announce that. It's being organized by the AWLA as well as many of the original event organizers. It's going to be in a brand new location this year, Orinoco Bay Park. So we're excited because it means a lot more people can walk to the event. We're going to have a lot more space, and we especially are excited that more people can walk to the event because of course it means that you can bring your pets. So friendly, well-behaved pets are welcome, and Passionately Pets is actually going to be one of our event vendors, so we're very excited to see them there. And you can learn a lot more about the event on our website at alexandrialoveyourpetday.com, so you can figure out what's going on. We've got great entertainment. We've got wonderful vendors. We've got food and drinks. You can also figure out if you want to be involved in terms of being a vendor or a sponsor. So we hope we'll hear from a lot of people, and we're so excited to see how it goes. We can't wait to see everyone there.
That's great. It sounds like it's going to be an exciting event. And thank you so much. Hopefully we can find all of these animals lovely homes.
Hear, hear. Especially email us about Brewster. He's online now. He wants to hear from you. So contact us, please.
Perfect. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, that's it for tonight's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I did mention this on Thursday. Our live show will be about Alexandria's Makers Market with Passionately Pets. And then tomorrow night, we also have another ZTV episode that will be airing in the pink, talking about the spoonbill, and the Huntley Meadows Park manager will be joining us as well. So make sure to tune in for that and check out our Facebook page. Constantly posting articles and different events, and you can also check out Brewster's article that was posted on there as well. So that's all for tonight. Make sure to continue to be the good news in Alexandria. Bye, guys.